Hey friends, in our last lecture, we learned to take input from user. We replaced the value which was allocated to the variable color with the input statement where we took the value from the user itself. Like this, user gave color red and we got the red hexagon. But we tried to replace number of sides which is currently equal to 5 with input statement as well, like this. And then we tried to run this. Let's say I give 5 over here and I face this error. And if we look closely at this error, it says unsupported operand type for int and str. Now what is this error and what is this int and str? Hey friends, you're with me Anuradha from learningmilestone.com, and in this series we are learning Python concepts along with turtle graphics, and in this lecture we'll be learning about two different data types in Python, which are number and string. So let's go back to our REPL and do more coding. So here I am on REPL editor and I'll create a new REPL. I'll select Python language and let's say data underscore type. Click on create REPL. Now let's create two variables over here. Give one variable name equal to name, and let's allocate this a value, let's say John. We'll create another variable age equal to 14. Can we clearly see the difference between the values of these two variables, values which are given to the one value which is given to name and the other value which is given to age? We can see that the first value is enclosed in double quotes, while the other value, which is a number, is not enclosed in double quotes. Let's also create another variable, new age, and what we will do, whatever is the value stored in age, we will add to that and we will have a new value of age. Let's print the value of these. Print, we can have a comma separated printing, name, age, and new age. All good so far? We'll get the out. Let's also see the data types, right? We can see from our eyes what is the difference between the data. One is number and the other, which is enclosed in quotes, is called string data type. Anything which is in double quotes or single quotes is data type string, and anything without quotes is number. We could have also enclosed string data type in this single quotes. But the point to note over here is that either it should be single quote or double quote at a time, but not both. We can identify the data type using method type of print type, and we can pass the variable or value to get the data type of that value. So here's a data type of name and here is the data type of age, and for that matter data type of new underscore age. If we run this, we'll see, okay, let's do one thing to clearly identify this. I'll say name, I'll say age, and I'll say new underscore age. Can you also see the difference when I printed just name and the name in quotes? When I'm giving name word in quotes, it is another string. But when I am referring to name without quotes, that means I'm referring to a variable which has a value stored in it, right? So when I'm giving in double quotes, it gives me the value as it is, the name, age, new age. So if we say this type of variable name is str, which is string, and the type of variables age and new age is int, which stands for integer. If I would have given, let's say age 14.1, right, we would have got the data type of age and new age as float, which stands for decimal numbers. Okay, so right now we will stay with int data type. Now let's ask these numbers from user, these values from user, as we already did in our previous lecture. We'll make use of input method for same. Enter your name. I'll just paste it over here. Enter your age. I don't need to ask prompt here because I'm doing operation on the age variable. So whatever value age variable store should new age should get that. I'll just comment out few things for some time like this too, and I'll remove this. Okay, let's see what happens. So what we are doing, we are taking input from the user and we are identifying the data type of the value received from the user, and I'm printing those values. Let's run Anu 90. Okay, and if I print this now, do you see the difference? Now the value which we have received from the user is of only data type string, which is age as well as name. Be it number or name, doesn't matter. It is always string. We can say age we received is not this now. Now can we do number operation on this? Let's try to do that. Let me just comment this as 2. So if I do this, I have age in a string and I'm trying to do number operation on it. Enter your name, Anu. Okay. Now what it says, we get the same error. Concat can only concatenate string, not int, to string. Okay, concatenation is joining. So right now we are doing some number operation and it is saying that this value is a string and this value is int, but I cannot do this operation. Okay, either I can join two strings, which will be our topic of next lecture or some different lecture, or I can do number operation between integers or numbers only. So if I remove this is simple, right? Here I'll not get error. When we are asking name from user, that means we are receiving string, whatever number user enters, and it's like this operation which is happening is number plus string, right? 2 is a number and age is string, and we'll receive the same error. We receive the same error, right? What should we do if we want to take input of a number data type from user? We should convert the number which is received as string to a number data type. And how we can do that? By something called typecasting. Okay, so what we can do, we can say age underscore int is equal to int age. And at this point, let's see data type of age underscore int, okay, which is the age which we are doing after conversion of age to int using something called typecasting. And instead of operation on age to get new age, we can do age underscore int plus 2. Okay, so that we have a consistency of number data type plus operation over here, right? And let me enable this as well now and see what happens. I enter Anu, I enter 90, and this time I have age is of data type str, the earlier age, and the age after conversion is of data type int, and the new age, which is the final age received after adding age underscore int plus 2, is of data type int 2. And so we are able to do number operation. So what we have learned so far, that there are two data types. There are more than two data types, but right now we are focusing on two data types in Python, which is int data type. There can be another data type which is float, but in general number data type. And then we talked about string. String is anything which is in double quotes or single quotes, and number is anything without quotes, and of course it should be a number, and it helps us to do number operation. The other point which we saw is we took input from the user and the data type which we received when the user gave the input and we stored it in a variable of data was of data type string. And if really we want to do some number operation on the number received from user, we have to convert it into number data type using int, typecast, or we could have used float typecast as well. And then we were able to do number operation. Now we have learned this. Let's go back to our original REPL where we created a red hexagon, but we were also looking for taking input from user for number of sides so that we can create different figure. Okay. And now let's solve the issue. So I'm back to my old REPL. So how does it work? I have a number underscore sides variable. Original value was 5, but I replaced it with input statement. And then I had this color variable, which is receiving input of what kind of color we want to fill in the hexagon or pentagon, right? Now, if we run it, uh, let's see, if we run it and I enter value, any value, okay, 6, it says unsupported operand type for int and str. Now at this point we are aware that why this is a wrong value. This is because as soon I enter 6, it is not actually 6 but it is 6, right, which is of integer type, which is of data type string. So what is happening over here when we are doing num underscore sides to calculate angle sides, it is actually we are doing mathematical operation between a number and a string, which is not possible. So we need to convert this num underscore sides into int, right? So let's do that. Num underscore sides upon int. Let's create a new variable and typecast it by passing int num underscore sides, and here we can do this. Okay, I hope it works now. And color we are receiving is a string and we need a string only at this point. So let's say 6. Very good. So we are able to go ahead, and here I give the color red. Oops. Okay, so here also we are using num underscore sides, right? So it gives error for this too also, because I'm saying for I in range num underscore sides. And again it says string cannot be interpreted as an integer. And so here too I need to pass a number data type, right? So I'll run it again. Let's say I enter 6, blue, and let's see. Yes, we are ready with I entered 6, so I get hexagon of blue color. Perfect, right? So let's recheck it again. Enter a value 8, pink. See? Works perfectly fine for me. Now there we could have shortened this, okay? How? We could have directly passed int, we have could directly enclose this in input value receive. So we receive this input value and we typecast into int and store it in a variable num underscore side. So we don't need additional variable for this. And here I can use num underscore sides, again num underscore sides. So look at it closely. What I'm doing, I'm taking input from the user. Okay, whatever input user is given is converted into type integer, and the rest is same. So I don't need additional variable for this. All right, so we are able to resolve this issue, and we through this lecture we have learned how, two different data types, number type int particularly and string data type, and how we can manage to take number data type from user if we want to do further number operation with that input. I hope this lecture was useful to you, and I'll see you in next lecture.